Good evening and welcome back to Be Rich. Of course, there's a theory in science called chaos theory, which says when a butterfly flaps the wing on one side of the world, then there's a storm on the other side. Similarly, this is more true of economics. When somewhere and somebody decides not to spend in the Western world, how it has a cascading effect all over the world and how it reaches the shores of countries like India, where I live, is what I wanted to explore today. How did I get this idea? Is because I was reading an article in the Wall Street Journal. It says, the headline says, Americans have had it with inflation. It talks of a young man called Duffy, James Duffy, who's basically doing a small time job somewhere in America. His daily habit as a graduate was to go to his Starbucks, order coffee, his favorite Americano, and sit with a book and read there for some time. Over a period of time, what he has done now is, as prices have gone up and the coffee places have increased their prices, he has decided that he cannot afford this coffee anymore. So, what he has done is he sits at home, brews a big pot of coffee, and continues to read at home. If you think this is only coffee he has stopped drinking, then we are sadly mistaken. It's not only coffee. He says he has become extremely frugal. Till this point of time, he never considered himself frugal. And he said that because he has become frugal, he has decided to spend less money. In fact, he says now when he goes shopping, he looks at an extra bag of chips. And before he used to thoughtlessly take it and put it onto his trolley, now he wants to consider whether I should buy that extra pack of chips, whether I will use it. This is a case of a person who's gone to college in America and who is holding a regular job and is drawing a salary. But there are many such cases. The US consumer confidence has been declined and is at one of its lowest. Most people cite the rising food prices and rising energy prices, along with it rising prices of services, as the main reason for them to cut back on their requirement and cut back on shopping. America is not a great manufacturing nation. America mostly imports whatever it consumes. America is a consumer driven economy, and consumption is what drives most of its economy. This is why when America catches cold or sneezes, the rest of the world catch cold. What is now certain is that inflation is out of control and it has now spiraled on to wages. Both United Airlines and American Airlines have been forced to increase pilot pays in double digit because otherwise they would go on strike, and therefore their wages have gone up. Amazon, Starbucks, who hire people at the lowest wages possible, are unable to find people to work. The hospitality area, which cut back people savagely during the pandemic, is unable to find people to come and work for them because people have moved on, found better paying jobs, and are not willing to come back to the industry. So, the industry is now paying more to get highly untrained people, not highly trained people, highly untrained people. This means the American consumer is being forced to cut back on goods and services. And this is definitely going to affect the American economy. This is why several commentators in America have now said that the Fed should be mindful of the fact that they should not tighten too much because it will tip the country into deep recession. But as it looks like now, Jerome Powell has clearly said that the war on inflation will continue. And he says if there is a danger of if he is tightening more, lands the country into deep recession, he will definitely do so because he says inflation is the greater enemy and therefore he needs to crush inflation even at the cost of a lack of economic growth. It looks like America is heading into recession. The only question is when. Is it this year or is it going to be sometime in next year or the end of this year? But America has definitely started to consume less as retail sales and the person I talked about, his behavior and group behavior is shown. And therefore, if America consumes less, then America is going to import less. And if America is going to import less, the rest of the world is going to export less to America. How does it affect a country like India is what I wanted to talk. India is not a major exporter of cloth or other articles to US. But even in India, the growth rate in exports has started to decline. India had a big jump in exports as soon as the pandemic eased, but now that is over and the exports have started to decline. The growth rate has started to decline and imports are rising faster. And imports are rising faster because India has to import more than 85% of its energy requirements and also has to import coal, which is in short supply, though India has abundant reserves. In both these cases, the prices are very high because of the Russian Ukraine war. This means our imports are inelastic and priced high, whereas our exports have begun to suffer. In the last 2 months, this has begun to show up in our trade deficit figures. The trade deficit has been an averaging 25 billion and 26 billion dollars in the last 2 months. In fact, trade deficit for this quarter is going to be very large. So there is going to be a huge current account deficit in India, which was not the case in the previous years. Not only will there be a current account deficit of 3 to 4%, it is now certain India is going to have a drawdown in balance of payments. That is, capital flows are going to lessen. Normally, what was the current account deficit used to be covered by capital flows, and India was able to build reserves. But what is now going to happen is a fact that since capital is flowing out of India, because India has not increased interest rates at the level at which America has, there is an outflow of capital, and therefore there is going to be a drawdown in the balance of payments. Not only that, Indian corporates are to repay this year, and those repayments, if they take money out of India, then the capital drawdown could be worse. This is what is putting heavy pressure on the Indian rupee, and that is why I say the Indian rupee can hit 80 to 85. 80 by August, 85 by the time this year, by the time this time next year. Other countries may have fare worse, but inflation is rearing its ugly head in countries in India because the butterfly is flapping its wings in the United States. Thank you for watching. Be rich. If you like this content, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified about future videos. Once again, I thank you for supporting Be Rich. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.